and welcome back to Meet the Authors. Our second guest for tonight is Stephen Hoffmann from Diamondhead. He's a graphic designer with two young children of his own, and he has put together this really delightful children's book based on the fleur-de-lis. So welcome, Stephen.
Nice to meet you.
All right, show the audience your book. This is so cute. Look at this book.
So we got the flirty birds. They are, a bird that has a, their heads are shaped like a fleur-de-lis, their torsos are shaped like a fleur-de-lis, and their feet are shaped like a fleur-de-lis. And it's exactly what it says. It's an illustrated field guide.
Open up the book again and show this whole picture. That was really a cute picture. Isn't this graphic design stuff amazing?
And here's
really, the one with the
proof
feet. Oh, it was so cute. That one. Show that again.
So,
and that's cute as anything. But the whole book is like this. I mean, you're going to be delighted when you get this book because the whole story is all these birds. And I want to show them the one about the New Orleans picture.
All right, yeah. Their scientific name is Fleur-de-lis hudaticus, in case you wanted to know that.
I did. I want to know the scientific name.
So it basically goes through a series of questions, and they eventually make their way to New Orleans to see the parade of the flirty birds of paradise. And so one of the questions here is, do flirty birds fly? Well, they don't. They fleur. And to fleur...
Read that to us. Read that whole section to us.
Flirty birds don't fly, they fleur. They march, not to find new nesting grounds or food, but because they can. It's just so much fun. Some skip and hop, some beep and some bop. And some do all four simultaneously.
I love these. The whole book is so much fun. Where did you get the idea for this book?
Well, I've had the idea for years, and I haven't really known what to do with it. But it's probably, I'd say, like 5 years ago. I was at a friend's house, and he had this huge fleur-de-lis on the wall, and I was just looking at it, and it looked like a bird to me. So I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool to have, a bird that, had a shape of a fleur-de-lis.
That's good. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really like this. So this is your first book. First book you've illustrated, first book you've published. And you're a graphic designer, right, by nature, by profession. So you really have an up on this. Tell us about the publishing processing. You started with this idea 5 years ago. How long did it take you to put this together and get it published?
Well, I went back and forth. Like I thought maybe I could do, a flirty bird doll. And then I thought, well, I'll do T-shirts. And then I went back to a doll. And then I went to a children's book. So I finally settled on, and the reason that I didn't settle on the children's book at first is because I really didn't think that I could illustrate it. And because I've always drawn and painted my whole life. I knew I could write, but the illustration part, I've never been like a quick illustrator. Like, I could never bang out, a full illustration in minutes. But I could paint. So I finally just said, you know what, I'm gonna just do it, and found a way to illustrate it, and so I just decided that I could do it, and I did it.
You did do it.
Yeah.
And you did this one through CreateSpace, right? Because Sandra did hers too. I've done books. The one I read from is from CreateSpace. Tell us a little bit about that process.
Well, it was interesting because as I was looking at the rules, because CreateSpace has a lot of specific rules on how you need to submit the PDF, and I thought that was going to be really daunting. But as after I got finished with the illustrations and the story had been written and started to look at the rules, a lot of them are just standard graphic design rules, like having the bleed, having the the art come out off the edge of the page a little bit.
So you're saying the process wasn't very difficult?
It was not at all.
And how long from the time you started writing it to the time you got the book out?
I started illustrating the beginning of June and was done with all the illustrations by the end of October. and had my first copies right around Thanksgiving. So,
Well, gosh, only like 5 months and you had that book out for Christmas. That's a wonderful story. Tell us, everything has a message. Every book has a purpose and a meaning. And tell us what you're trying to say in this book.
See, I really don't have a message in this book. I just thought it was a cute, fun idea.
It is a cute, fun idea, and that is the message. That's the message that you should be, that people pick up this book, and it's just fun, and it really gives you an idea of how you can just use your imagination to make these big-eyed birds, and their great, wonderful shapes. I think it's a really fine book. It's a really great book.
One of the things that, when I have 2 kids of my own, and when I read books that don't keep the parent in mind and don't have something for the parents, like whether it be humor or whatever, I tune out. So I intentionally wrote this thing to have, some humor. Like, one of the places that they go to eat is the Waddle House. And
the Waddle House.
so they're eating crawfish. They also eat shrimp and the occasional falcon. So barbecue falcon wings are on special.
Is that a reference to the Saints football team?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make that clear.
Indeed it is. And so, it's stories like that, whether it's movies or books, that I'm drawn to as a parent, if it's got something for me as well. Because I'm going to be reading this thing, every night for the next 3 years. And my kids are a little older now, but for
How old are your kids now?
I've got one who's, my daughter's 6 and my son is 9.
So you were telling me earlier the daughter loves the photos and the son loves the actual reading the story, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
And you're going to work on a second one. Now show us the back.
This is an idea that I have for, a second book, which is, this is Floranosaurus rex.
Floranosaurus rex. It's so cute.
You can see the little Mardi Gras beads there. And,
yeah, that's the excrement.
Oh yeah. Well,
Mardi Gras beads.
their droppings are colored like Mardi Gras beads, so don't throw them. So I thought maybe I'll do a book about where they came from, like how they evolved. And,
what fun!
So it's
like the
in
Minion story and how they grew up. I really love that.
Exactly.
Well, that's good. So we're so glad you come on the show. Show people the book and tell them where they can get it.
This is Flirty Birds, an illustrated field guide. It's available on Amazon. I have a website, flirtybirds.com. You can also get it at Bay Books in Bay St. Louis and The Mockingbird, actually.
Mockingbird in Bay St. Louis.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a really cute store. All the books available from all our authors can be found and bought through my website. Put up the website again. And we will, there it is, and we hope that you'll be back and see more authors on the coming shows this coming year. So join us next time on Meet the Authors.